So our theme this week is called The Moon on the Water. Sometimes I like to bring in some astrological themes, and yoga and the mythology in the yoga world has a lot stories about the moon, and also the sun and the moon are aspects of our own being that yoga speaks to. So according to the yoga tradition, we have these major channels of energy that run through the body. One relates to the sun, one relates to the moon. Also, you may have heard about the chakra system. So there's 7 chakras in the body, going from the base of the spine all the way up to the crown of the head. The second chakra and the 6th chakra. So the second is like the pelvic bowl, reproductive area, hips, said to be governed by the moon, and as well as the 6th chakra, which is like our intuition, our inner knowledge, inner wisdom, governed by moon energy. So each of the astrological signs as well are governed by one of the planets. So you may know yours, like I'm a Gemini, it's ruled by Mercury. But we're in Cancer season, so if you have a birthday, between now and the next couple of weeks, you'd be a Cancer. And Cancer season and Cancer astrological sign is also governed by the moon. So I thought I'd bring some of that in tonight in our practice. We're going to do a lot of work with the pelvis, but we're also going to do some meditation and work a lot with hip area, bringing fluidity into the hip. One more thing about the astrological signs, they're also governed by one of the 5 elements. And we talk a lot about those in Ayurveda and yoga: earth, water, fire, air, and space. So Cancer is also a water sign, so governed by the water. So it's ruled by the moon and also governed by water. So we're going to create lots of fluidity, fluid movements in the body, work a little bit with our 6th chakra as well. So it'll be kind of a fun practice tonight. So go ahead, come on your backs, and we'll get started. We're going to start in a reclined bound angle tonight. So grab your 2 blocks if you like to have blocks under your knees, and bring your feet together and drop your knees apart. And if you like, stick your blocks underneath the knees or the thighs, wherever you want to put the blocks, right? And then we'll just begin here, coming into our breathing. A sense of breathing down into the hips, the lower back, the pelvis. So the 2nd chakra, hips, pelvic bowl, also associated with the water element. Our ability to kind of be able to go with the flow. Are we kind of stiff and stuck and stagnant in our hips and our lower back? Or do we have good fluidity there? And then the other thing that's related to our 2nd chakra would be the emotions. So we know the moon also can affect things emotionally, right? Maybe we feel a little bit more reactive, or maybe a little bit, teachers say schools are a little crazier at the time of the full moon, or the emergency room, things like that. So there's less stability going on emotionally, but also kind of in general when it comes to the moon phases. So pelvic bowl relates a lot to those kinds of concepts when we look at the yoga subtle anatomy, we call it, with the chakra system. So just breathing down into this area. So if we could breathe right into the hips and the lower back. Now, one more concept I'm going to bring in tonight is the concept of agni and soma. These are Ayurvedic terms. Agni is a word that means fire. And right now in summer, fire is the most dominant of our 5 elements, right? We have a lot of heat going on, high temperatures, things like that. And fire has qualities that consumes, right? Fire burns things up. Fire can diminish, devour, burn, and transform. And then there's this opposite principle in yoga that's called Soma. Soma kind of is related to what we do here in Somatic. Soma, same root word. But in Sanskrit, the word Soma means moon. It also can mean nectar or nourishment. And it's this concept that the moonlight is very nourishing, calming. It helps us, get our rest at night versus the brightness of the sun and maybe even the harshness of the sun. So the sun can be rather brutal. It is said that the moonlight is like a soothing balm. So we're going to work with this principle of Soma tonight. I just want to share with you signs that you have depleted Soma in your body. So Soma is our reserves, our resources. And if we've been burning the candle at both ends, oftentimes we're depleting our Soma. If we have signs of early aging, dryness in the skin, the hair, the nails, quick to react, anger, worry, fear, lack of mental and energetic stability. So maybe our emotions are all over the place, like we talked about before. Getting sick easily, run down, and then it's hard to recover. So we don't recover, we're not so resilient anymore. Low libido, exhaustion, depletion, and then it could be weight gain or weight loss. So like not being able to keep weight on, or maybe not being able to lose weight. So either extreme. As we age, it is said our Soma becomes more depleted. And so we need more Soma producing activities. So of course our yoga, depending on the style of yoga we're doing, can be replenishing for our Soma. Breathing, meditation, calming activities, being in nature, being by water, and also particular foods. So something you could research, like what are some Soma promoting foods, things that are very nourishing. So staying where you are, and we're going to begin to do a little movement here, beginning to work with the hips. So take your right foot and just lift it up a little bit off the floor. And let the other foot press down into the floor. And just notice what you feel when you do that. And then release that foot down, lift the left foot up. And press gently with your right foot. And now just go side to side. You can keep your blocks or not. So I'm going to move mine out of the way. If you want to keep them, keep them. If your blocks are there, your legs will have some support and you won't overdo the knee area. So if you have knee strain or any other discomfort, it might be helpful to keep the blocks. Otherwise, you could take them away. So it's like you're walking in place while you're in this bound angle position. And here we start to open up through the hips, the pelvis, the pelvic floor as well. Next time you pick up your right foot, hold it. Press the left foot down. And draw the feet a little away from each other. So you open up through the inner thighs a little bit more. And then release that foot down, pick up the left foot, press the right foot down and draw the feet a little away from each other. Notice as you pull the left foot to the left, that right outer hip tends to fire up. And now alternate that a few times, adding on the drag. That just opens up the inner leg a little bit more. So all around our hip joint, we've got all kinds of different muscles. So here, working a little inner thigh, but also outer hip, which is glute medius. And then in the front, we've got hip flexors, quadricep muscles. And in the back, we have hamstrings and gluteal muscles. So all around, if any of these are out of balance, they're tight and or weak, we can end up having some issues here in the hips. So go ahead and pause that now. Take a full breath in, full breath out. Now we're going to grab our strap. And we're going to bring the feet up off the floor. We're still in that kind of bound angle shape. We're going to loop the strap over the pinky edges of our feet and hold on to the ends of the strap. Okay, so anything you're unsure of tonight, feel free to look up here. I'm going to demonstrate at some point, and sometimes I'll just be looking at you guys, make sure you're getting things. Hold on to the strap, but now let the feet drop. So you're kind of suspended here above the floor, and we open up those inner thighs. Now from here, pull gently on the strap, draw your shoulders down, and just go into a little bit of a back arch. So you just contract your spinal muscles, and then soften, relax. Do that 2 more rounds. Pull, draw your shoulders down, arch your back, and then soften. Do that 1 more time. Good. Now, loosen up on the strap a little bit. Let the feet come all the way back to the floor. You're still holding on to that strap. Feel free, if you need to, put your blocks back in. Okay, now same thing. The strap is going to help open up the inner thighs a little bit. Pull on the strap, and now maybe you can arch your back a little more because your feet are on the floor. And then relax. We'll do that 4 more times, so a total of 5 rounds. Pull on your strap, draw your shoulders down, arch your back. Open up through the inner thighs and engage that outer hip muscles. And relax when you're ready. Continue for 3 more rounds. You exhale all the way out. 1 more round. Right, and then relax, let the strap go. Maybe you want to do little wrist circles if your hands bother you after all the gripping. And just be there for a moment. All right, so bring your feet flat. We're going to still be using our strap. We're going to take the strap in around the right foot. And we're coming into like a half happy baby. So you might have that strap doubled up a bit. So the right foot faces the ceiling and the knee is bent. The other leg, let's extend it if that feels okay for you. Stretch out the left leg and take the left arm, reach it over your head. Now from here, look over your right shoulder and pull on your strap. Just pull a little bit. At the same time, reach through your left arm, left leg. Inhale. Exhale, soften. And then let's repeat that. Inhale, lengthen through your left arm, left leg. Pull on the strap a little bit. And then soften. Okay, so let's do that 1 more time. Right, and then let's release. Switch sides. So there's many different ways we can, quote, open our hip. We talk about hip openers a lot in yoga, so these are hip opening poses. Left foot faces the ceiling, knee is deeply bent. Straighten your right leg, right arm overhead. And then as you inhale, reach through the right arm, right leg, and pull on your strap. Trying to, almost like you're pulling the leg down, but at the same time, sort of press your foot up. And then let's repeat that. So here on the left, we're getting a hip opener to the inner thigh, but on the right, we're opening the front of the hip. Do that one more time. And then release. And then we're going to take the strap over both feet, a full happy baby. Take the feet wider than your body, feet face the ceiling, and just hold on to your two ends of your tail with your hands. Keep your shoulders drawing toward the floor, tailbone heavy. And we're going to try and press the feet out into your strap. Feel how that opens up through the hip joints a little bit. Exhale, soften. And repeat. Pull apart. And release. One more time. Right, and then go ahead and let the strap go. Let the feet come down. Arms out to a T, windshield wiper, the knees right to left. All right, come back to the center. Soles of the feet together, knees apart again. Option to put your blocks in. And then interlace your hands behind the back of your head. We're going to do our arch and curl tonight in the bound angle shape. So inhale, arch your back. Press your elbows down. Notice your outer hip muscles engage and your thighs open. And then exhale, curl up. And repeat. Moving slowly builds Soma, that principle that counters excess fire. Excess fire depletes, can burn us out, can cause inflammation. And so when we slow down, we rebuild our resources, replenish our adrenal glands, calm the mind. Now, if you want to go a little further here, inhale, arch. Exhale, pick your feet up as you curl up. If that's too much, keep the feet down. Inhale, arch. Exhale, curl up and draw your elbows toward your feet, feet toward your elbows. Couple more rounds. One more. All right, and then let your feet come down. Let's take a bit of a longer pause. Stretch the legs out. Take a moment. Let everything settle. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay, so building in now some fluid movement through the hips. Take your right leg, rotate it outward. And notice now the knee is going to slightly bend. And then let the leg come back in. We're just doing a little mild rotation. Roll the right leg open. And then let it relax back to neutral. Do that again. Okay, this time, leg rolls open. Slide the foot all the way up towards your inner thigh. And then bring that foot flat and drop it in toward the left. So we go from external to internal rotation. And then while the knee is dropped in, slide the foot back out. And then roll the leg open. Bend the knee. Slide the foot up and a little out to the side. And then bring the foot flat. Let the knee drop into the center. Straighten the leg. And back to neutral. So repeat this one a few more rounds. So the leg bone inserts into the pelvis, the top of our femur bone. And this little movement starts to give a lot of fluidity into the joint here. Stimulates all the fascia that holds the leg bone inside the pelvis. That can get a little stuck, especially if we do need to spend a lot of time sitting. So good to bring some of the water element into the joint. One more here. And then with that right leg, drop and release. As you take a breath, feel and sense the right leg. We'll do the other side. First, just a couple rolls. Let the leg roll open and back to neutral. No slides yet. Just open it up. Notice if one leg turns out easier than the other. Now on this next one, starting our glide, so we're gonna turn that leg open, slide it up, and let that foot maybe go a little out to the side. And then foot flat, drop the knee to center, and re-straighten the leg. And continue. See if you can keep your mind and your awareness in your Soma, your body. So there's that root word, Soma, that in the yoga tradition would mean how we perceive our body from the inside out. In Sanskrit, it's the moon. So there's this soothing quality to the word Soma. One more time. Don't forget to also drop it in. When I start talking, I forget to do that. So if you check out, you might forget that internal rotation. Pause the legs. Breathe in, breathe out. Now we're going to repeat that with both legs. You may have done this with one with me before, called the frog swim. It's like frog legs. So let the legs be at least hips distance apart and roll both legs open. Now don't slide yet, just roll and go back to neutral. Do that a few times. Noticing if one leg is rolling out easier than the other. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, now beginning the slides, roll the legs open, bend the knees, slide both feet up. And then bring the knees up, slide the legs out. Roll both legs open. Slide the feet like almost mat distance, take them wide, hold them up, and then knees up, straight. So when we bring more water element into our hip joints, it often leads to more comfort in our lower back. Because if our hips are like things are drier, less fluid in there, less synovial fluid, and the stiffness typically will kind of linger into the lower back as well. A good fluidity in the hips can help us feel more comfortable in our lower back. Right, come back up like you're bringing them back up to bound angle. Keep them there. Whenever we come into this shape, feel free to use your blocks. And now we're going to do a little shuffle. Slide one foot up, one foot down. Slide up. This one you get to go a little faster. And you'll just let your lower back kind of shuffle a little side to side. And we're stimulating our fascia in the outer foot. If you were here last week, that's also a little piece of our lower sciatic nerve there on the outer foot, leading into the nerve of the foot. Let the hips shuffle a little bit side to side as you slide one foot up, one foot down. And then come back to stillness, bring both feet up, straighten both legs. And now feel the energy flow through the legs, especially that outer leg channel that we just kind of shuffled. That is also gallbladder channel in Chinese medicine through the outer foot, outer leg, outer hip. Breathe in, breathe out. One more breath here. And we'll bend both knees. Roll to your side. And we're coming up into a seated position. Feel free if you'd like to sit on your blanket, if you'd like to sit on, or it blocks under knees. Another nice addition. We're going to be sitting for a bit, so feel free to do that. All right, so we're just going to come into a brief little meditative pause here. Bringing one hand to that brow center. The sixth chakra, ajna, means command center. So it's this place of our own intuition, inner knowing, and your power of visualization. We're going to bring the other hand below the navel, so we're hitting kind of the second chakra area. And these two areas of the body, second, sixth chakra, said to be governed by the moon. Second chakra, water element, where your top hand is. It's more air and space. Take a breath or two. Just imagine you could kind of sync up these two areas. Spiritually, they're both related to our ability to create, to manifest, to bring into being what we wish to bring into being. Now we're going to take the hand that's on the belly and bring it to the top of the head. This is the seventh chakra, which is also known as the chakra that relates to our spirituality, a sense of unity, sense of being part of something bigger than ourselves. I'd like you to draw an imaginary line between the top hand and the lower hand. Where they intersect is our midbrain. Imagine you could just put your attention where those 2 points meet. And then let your hands come down. Palms up if you can. Focus on that midbrain area. Now, in some of the stories in the yoga tradition, the Soma is said to be excreted in this midbrain area. It relates to some of our organs like the pineal gland and the hypothalamus, pituitary, and our sense of circadian rhythm. Some say that it is the actual spinal fluid, the cerebral spinal fluid, that is the soma. So I'd like you to imagine a skylight in the top of your head. And in that skylight, moonlight shining into the midbrain. Let it soothe and calm the mind. Soothing balm, just bringing down any excess heat, any inflammation. Mind cool and calm with this soothing nectar. It could coat every nerve in your brain and in your spine. Let it flow down into your body from the skylight, down through your brain, down through the spinal cord. And through the spinal cord, through all the nerves of your body. Imagine this nectar just coating every nerve of your body. So we get burned out, the nerves feel fried, and that myelin sheath gets depleted. Through the practices of yoga, we can replenish those nerves. Take one more breath here. Start to circle the spine around. So let the spine start to take some circular movement. Get that sense of the flow of the water. Spine kind of growing out of that pelvic bowl of the second chakra. Remember to go slowly. Almost like getting out of your own way, letting this sort of happen naturally. You're not forcing anything. And then reverse it, go the other direction. Slowly make your way to the center and pause. Your hands behind you, feet come out in front. Take the feet a little wide and go into a windshield wiper here. And then the next time the knees go right, let's leave them right and bring the feet back in a little bit. We're gonna need our balls, so bring those in. I'm gonna take those double balls. So we're gonna sit here, the knees bent. If this is challenging for you, feel free to sit cross-leg or straighten one leg, however you wanna do it. As long as this leg is bent, we're gonna put the balls underneath the outer thigh. So now we hit a little bit of the outer hip. We did a lot of inner leg and some of the front. And we're gonna put our weight into it. So walk yourself out till those balls start to press a bit into that IT band area. And then take a little rocking, swaying movement here. Feel free if you like, move the balls a little up, a little down, or stay where you're at. Okay, now come back to start and take the balls away. And we're gonna be in stillness for a little bit. So we don't often do stillness in our somatic work, but stillness is a great way to replenish soma. So activity can burn it off and deplete it. So you can stay up high, you could go down low, you could add a block under your forehead. We're gonna be in stillness for maybe around 5 or so breaths. So just however it works for your body, we'll stay there. And just a sense of surrendering into the pose, like just kind of letting go. Just be there, let the head be heavy. Finish out your next exhalation. And then we'll slowly walk ourselves back up. Come back to center, bring your feet flat. We're gonna go back to the windshield wiper. Hands could be behind you. If you want a little more challenge, take your hands off the floor. And then we'll use the hips and legs a little bit more. All right, and then we'll go to the other side. Bring the feet back a little bit, starting with the balls underneath the IT band area. And then we'll just put some weight into it and then a little rocking, swaying. So IT bands is this thick band of fascia, connects our hip to our outer knee. Gives us stability for things like walking, standing. And we want them to be strong, but sometimes they can get grippy and tight. So here we start to massage into the superficial fascia here to release some of that tightness. And then we'll take the balls away and come into that hold. So again, perhaps you want to have a block under your forehead. You can stay up higher if you like. You can go down lower. You can go all the way to the floor if you like. And then be there for a little while. So the Sanskrit word for the second chakra is svadhisthana. It means one's own dwelling place. It's a sense of just kind of coming home to yourself. Oftentimes our energies, our attention, it's so scattered to all the things we need to get done, all the places that ask for our attention in the world, the news, the social media, whatever it might be. But when we kind of focus on the lower chakras, first, second chakra, there's this sense of groundedness, a sense of coming home to the self. And checking in, do we distract ourselves? Do we numb out? Do we feel what there is to feel? Are we present with what we're feeling? Or do we push it away or deny it? Are we honest about what we need? And are we taking time for self-care? And that's a way that we can replenish our soma. Taking time out of all the distractions and the ways that our attention goes outward and bring all that attention back inward, which is what we do in a somatic practice. We're bringing our attention back inside. Right, slowly start to bring yourself back up. Take your time. Back to the center. One more time, windshield wipers. And then back to the center, soles of the feet together, another bound angle pose. Again, feel free to use blocks if you like, any level, or go without support. Come forward any amount to your first stopping point. So you don't want to force it. It's going to put a lot of strain in the knees. You're going to build more soma if we back out, if we don't push so hard. And then just take again this little bit of a swaying movement. We do a lot of rocking and swaying in somatics because it's a lot gentler on the body than holding a static stretch, which we've talked about other times, how holding a static stretch, while I love doing that, it can also cause the body to react. So then things tighten up and stiffen up where we want them to release. And so we're less likely to activate stretch reflexes with swaying and rocking and kind of just staying in the comfort zone. Maybe connection of hips to lower back here. Slowly start to come back up to the center and guide the knees back up. Keep your single ball nearby. And I'm gonna come off the blanket for this one. We're gonna go into figure 4. So let's cross right ankle over left knee. And we're gonna take our ball over onto that right hip area, into the gluteal area. Everybody loves this one. We get to massage out the outer hip and the gluteal area with the ball. So you're just gonna kind of move around any which way you like. And it can be spicy, as I say, because a lot of us are tight in this area, the piriformis, the glute that we sit on often. Let's try to get a little bit more on the side and inside. Good. All right, and then come off of that and switch it out, other side. You can do this on your back also. If you're struggling with anything with the arm support, feel free to come on your back. All right, and then slowly release. Take the balls away. Back to any seated position for a moment. And just come into your breath, sitting up nice and tall. The sense of coming home to the self and here and the now in this moment. All right, so we're gonna grab our strap again. And those of you who were here the other day, I'm repeating this one thing because when I did the video, I had some questions on this little thing that we did. And so for most of you, it's new, but a few of you have done this before. But I want to repeat it. So I want to show it to you guys so I can clear up some things as far as this little technique goes. So we're going to have our big loop in our strap. Okay. We're going to be on our backs, but I want you to see it seated first because it just got a little bit confusing for some folks. It's going to be like a sling, sort of like when you break your arm and you have a strap here. It's going to go over your shoulder. And then when you're on your back, you're going to put right shoulder, left foot. So the left foot is going to go in the sling, and we're going to be doing some movement, okay? So it'll look like this, and you may want to have a blanket under your head for this one. Strap around the right shoulder, and then you're going to need to figure out how big this strap needs to be. It's almost like that half happy baby. Now this leg could be bent, it could be straight, but this foot is going to be kind of flexed and facing the ceiling. It doesn't have to be straight up and down. It could be a slight angle. So find that position. So go ahead, come down, and right shoulder, left foot. Okay. And then just hang out there for a moment. And just a little warning that sometimes this causes a little shaking. And there's nothing to worry about. It's like a nervous system thing. It's something new that you're doing. It's opening up things that are maybe a little tight. So you may shake a little bit. So just don't worry about it. Let it happen. And then start to take your left foot over to the right and then over to the left. So you need a little bit of, leeway with that strap. You don't want it too tight. And just let it move side to side. So it's supported by the strap and the shoulder sort of pins down that other end. You're bringing that fluidity again into the hip joint. And then hold it in the open position, like over toward the left, right leg straight if you can. Take the arms overhead, like a full body stretch. Let that foot drop over toward the left. Now just come back into the stillness for a bit. Breathe in, breathe out. One more breath. One Noticing as I've done this a few times this week, less shaking going on. And then let's relax and straighten both legs. Take a moment before we go to the other side. If you feel like a little up slip, down slip, move the legs a little bit. Relax through the lower back. And then let's switch the sling over to the other side. So strap goes around the left shoulder. So you got like a sling, it's like over your shoulder like a backpack. And then right foot up into the strap. Again, it might be different on one side or the other. Feel free to adjust your length. Other leg for now could be bent or straight. Eventually we want to straighten it. And then take it a little side to side. Kind of a rocking motion. Try to keep the foot flexed. And now hold it for a few moments. If you can, straighten the left leg, arms overhead, and be there for a few breaths. Great, and then slowly, when you're ready, just let it go. Take the strap completely off. Let that leg come down. Take a pause. Feel, sense, notice the hips, the pelvis, the lower back, the legs. One more breath. Bring both knees into the chest. One hand on each kneecap. And circle the knees opposite directions away from each other, almost like a figure eight. And then back to center. Notice all the way around the leg, at the top of the leg as it inserts into the hip joint. All the muscles and the fascia connecting leg to pelvis. Reverse. A few times. Again, now other direction. Bring the knees back in. Set the feet flat on the floor. Drop the knees back open, bound angle, blocks if you need them. Take your blanket out from under your head and then tuck your palms under your bottom, face down. We're going to go through a moving fish pose. So we're going to press the arms into the floor, tuck your arms in, tuck your elbows in, press the arms down, and then lift the chest, arch the back. Maybe tip your head back, open the inner thighs. Exhale, soften back down. Now, if you don't like the bound angle shape, keep this going. You can do this with your legs straight. It's not going to be as much of a hip opener then, but you want to take care of your body if this is too much. So repeat. Press into the floor, arch your back. Open your heart space, your collarbones, the inner thighs. Exhale, soften. So let's go ahead and do 3 more rounds. So we're pandiculating the spine, spinal muscles, inner thighs, shoulders, collarbone area. And after this next one, slide the hands out, bring the knees up, straighten the legs. Pause. Moving now into the somatic flower movement. Feet flat, arms slightly away from your body. Roll your arms open. Let the pinky fingers lift. Arch your back. Roll the shoulders under, almost like we do with the fish pose. Exhale, roll the arms in. Cave the chest in. Roll the shoulders and arms toward the body. Inhale, open. Roll the shoulders open. Arch the back. Exhale, roll the arms in. Round the spine. Now adding legs. Inhale, drop the knees open. Bound angle. Arch your back. Roll the arms under. Track the outer hips. Exhale, roll the arms in, squeeze the inner thighs together, cave in the chest. Inhale, roll open the knees, arch the back. Exhale, roll in. So keep that going. Just kind of tune into this almost like a pulsation. Yogis say everything in the universe has a pulsation. It's always expanding and contracting and expanding and contracting, just like our breath and our diaphragm. Just tune into that rhythm of expansion, contraction. It's called spanda. So feet are flat if it's okay for you. So you're going in and out that bound angle. And as you open the knees, then you go to the pinky edges of your feet. Yeah, that's it, Nance. Yep. And if it's too much on your knees, feel free to take your legs out straight. So let's go ahead and do 2 more rounds like that. After that next round, go ahead, release all the way into neutral, legs out, arms relaxed. Feel, sense, notice. Come back to the self. Let's bring these into the chest. We're going to be doing a little bit of a longer guided meditation tonight. So we're going to be going into Shavasana a little earlier than usual. We'll do a yoga nidra tonight. Talk about that in a moment. First, seaweed pose. Take your arms and legs up and just float a little bit before we find Shavasana. You might circle wrists or feet or just hang out loose, see what feels right. Maybe you want to rock or sway, or maybe you want to be still. Just tapping into that water element. You're floating in warm water. So all the fascia and the joints and the muscles, like water plants. And then gradually let everything float down to the ground. Add any layers or props that you might like for your Shavasana. Yoga Nidra, which Nidra means divine sleep. And it's one of the tools we have for replenishing Soma. Would you guys like that air conditioner off? Yeah, okay. Let me go around and do that for a moment while you guys get settled. Last week it got so dark, so I'm going to leave that one light on. So I'm going to go turn off all the ACs. So make any final adjustments. Cover up if you're cold. Anyone needs a blanket, let me know. I'll go back here and leave that one. Yeah. Anybody else? Yeah, two. Okay. So Yoga Nidra means divine sleep. Sleep is one of the ways we replenish our Soma. But sometimes our sleep is not adequate. It's not nourishing. And so this is a conscious sleep. So we're not falling asleep, but we're fully aware as we do this practice. It's called rotation of consciousness. I'll be calling out parts of the body. And I'm going to ask you to just visualize this like moonlight, Soma, soothing nectar in each of these areas of your body. So we're going to start by bringing the attention to the space between your collarbones. And in each of these areas, imagine this soothing balm, nectar, Soma, pouring into this area of the body, very healing, like a silvery light. And then let that light start to shine down the right arm. Let it go through the right shoulder, the elbow, the wrist, the palm. As if your arm were made of this light. And you might even picture a glowing orb in the palm of your hand. Maybe it's a full moon shape or a star. You're holding that Soma in your hand. And then trace your awareness back up to the collarbone area. And then pour your awareness, your consciousness down the other arm, down the shoulder, the elbow, the wrist, palm, and the fingertips. sense of it being illuminated, the silvery light, the nectar moving through the veins and the nerves, that comforting coating to the nerves, just making the arm feel alive with this light. Coming back up, back to that collarbone region. And let it move down into your heart space, the center of the chest. Open that skylight into the heart. And let the Soma pour into the heart. Fill it up. Let it be soothed of all its aches and sorrows. This light fill every artery, every space, all the fascia around your heart. Let that light pour down through your abdomen into your right hip joint, down your right leg, into the knee, into the ankle, the foot, all of the toes on the right foot. Just see that leg illuminated with this light. Reflected soft light of the moon. Let it cool any inflammation or pain down through the leg. Let it replenish any fatigue. And then travel your awareness back up the leg and over to the left hip joint. And let your awareness travel down the left leg, the hip, the knee, the ankle, foot, all of the toes. This nectar replenish the left leg. Travel your awareness back up the left leg, back into the pelvis. Pelvic bowl be filled with this light, governed by the moon and the water. Let it soothe your lower back. And travel up your spine. Soma, likened to that cerebral spinal fluid that pulses up and down, spine to brain, brain to sacrum. Imagine your spinal cord illuminated like moonlight, illuminating the mind, soothing, cooling, calming the brain. Let it heal your eyes and soften your jaw. Sense your whole body now filled with the Soma. It's divine nectar. Many of the stories, there's battles between the gods and the demons for this very precious nectar. We can tap into it at any time through the power of our visualization. The body release toward earth. The earth holds you. This sense of illumination, every fiber of your being. So start to come back to awareness, but stay there. I'm going to share a reading before we come out. This is from a book called Yoga by the Stars and has different readings and practices for each of the astrological signs. And this is the little chapter for Cancer season. I'm just going to share a brief little reading before we come out. The path of yoga is a path that will lead you home to yourself. When the world feels hostile and overwhelming, yoga is a place of sanctuary. When you feel uncared for, it is a place of refuge. Come to your mat and you come to a sacred place. Here you are loved and can let the public mask slip and simply be yourself. Yoga breathes you like an umbilical cord connecting you to the source of life. Like a mother concerned for her only child, she will attend to whatever arises for you. If your body is tired, heavy, aching, or in pain, she will find the pose that is the balm to heal you. If you are troubled or feeling hurt, she will find the words to comfort and soothe you. She will smooth the worry lines from your brow, relax your shoulders from your ears, unclench your fist, and give you rest. You are held in the circle of yoga, strong enough to hold whatever burdens you are carrying. Yoga teaches us to relax into the support that life can offer. We are held, nurtured, and nourished. The water on the surface of your life might be turbulent, but underneath, the pool is deep, calm, and still. So take a moment now and start to move, just noticing this practice of working with the fluidity and the hips and water element, moonlight, Soma practice. Eventually come to your side. We'll have a pause there. In your own time, find a seated position. We'll sit for another moment. Feel free to sit up on your props. Sit up nice and tall. I don't think we need to rush out there just yet. Coming down like crazy. So find the tall spine. Maybe close your eyes again. Open to that skylight, the moonlight, Soma, into your body. Your breath finds you. Breathe softly, quietly. One last reading. There's an oil inside of you, sacred, ancient, electric. It flows from the brain to the base of your spine, waiting to be honored, to be preserved, to be risen. And this is not a metaphor. This is physiology aligned with divinity. Raise it, and the body becomes light. The mind clears. Visions come. Energy becomes power, and power becomes peace. They told you resurrection was history, but it's happening within you. Guard the oil, protect the throne. So as we go about our week, we can remember these ideas of Soma and notice when we're depleting. Notice when we're not taking time to replenish. We'll bring our palms together in front of the heart space. Take an inhale. Exhale, bow into your heart. Namaste. All right, thanks everyone. Take your time.